Good evening, folks. Hope everybody's ready for the weekend. I know I certainly am. It's actually my birthday weekend. Going to some barbecue and a Dance Gavin dance show tomorrow to celebrate. But we're going to be out here tonight over on Tung. We're going to try to get our 3 telescopics to work on this stream up here because I've been able to get holding a telescopic to work on this stream, but the current makes it very difficult to get one in a rod stand to work. So appreciate the follow there, Katie. Maybe third month for you there. Appreciate the support as always, and also anyone that most of my viewers here are already familiar with his channel. But if you aren't, his YouTube channel, you can search The Canadian Way on YouTube. He's working towards getting close to 500 subscribers, and he's got a big event planned for once he hits 500 subscribers. So if you haven't been to his channel yet, definitely check that out. Puts out a lot of good RF4 content. But let's go ahead and get out here to our spot and see what we can do. So according to some Discord posts, this area right here in G5, so right around the camp here, has been decent for Arctic grayling trophies on spinners, so I figured that'll be the best spot to try out. And tonight's tea, still fresh out of the pot, so it needs to cool a little bit, but it's a chamomile with spearmint tea. Going non-caffeinated tonight because I need to get to bed at a reasonable time since I've got to drive all the way downtown tomorrow, so see what we're doing here. Straight ahead, all right. The tree there's got me stuck. All right, here we go. As far as what baits to try, so I will say what I have noticed is that the streamer, you can kind of see from the water here, it pushes the lines towards shore if you cast out on this side. So I think if I go out through here, maybe it'll give me a little more leeway to mess with. Yeah, you know, I would love any decent taimen to come in again. I've been trying, but they're just, they're avoiding me. So the depth here is around like 3 meters, but what I haven't quite figured out yet is with this current, it's if it's better to have the line deep and let it kind of run ahead of the float, or if it's better to keep it shallow so it has less of a chance of putting the float into the air. So I'm not going to worry about the baits just yet. Right now, my main focus is to try and find a way to where we can get the floats to stay where they shouldn't be working. Once we get that done, we can start messing with baits and hook sizes and all that jazz. So here we'll try 50 meters and see what that does. And let's try 1.5 meters. And then let's try, we'll keep it on 4 meters. Headed out for trolling earlier. Okay, so when they're in that state, it does technically work, I think. This one's acting a little funny, so it's probably, yeah, so if you have it too deep, you'll see like the float will sometimes kind of get suspended in the air, and when that's the case, I don't think it works. So it's, yeah, you can see there, it's like it's just suspended in the air, so I don't think the game registers it as functional when that's the case. So let's keep it at a shallow 1 meter, I suppose. And since we're out here in the stream, let's try fly and maybe mayfly. And let's put on this one. Okay, so it's got 2 different larvae, so we'll do the larva on this one. And let's try, got a worm, and let's try pieces of fish as well. That was a bad cast. And we'll see if anything bites with them just hanging out like that. If not, I can try rotating the cast so that there's always one drifting, possibly. Let me pick up line one here, make sure. Yeah, I think as long as it's in a state where it shows the little breakout box in the bottom of what the float's doing, I think it registers as able to have fish bite. So let's try rotating to always keep them drifting as much as possible to see if that that helps our chances at all. And I guess we could also try putting, maybe instead of doing fly and mayfly, let's throw a, you know, since we've got so much, let's throw some egg dough on here, see if that does anything. All right. So far, no luck. There's just so many variables that, like, we don't know what sort of bait will work. We don't know what size hook will work. Don't know what time of day is going to be best. I will say, I think one change we definitely would take. I'll bring this back in, and let's switch to smaller hooks, because if we have a smaller hook size, we should improve our bite rate by default. So let's throw some like 12s on. One had the worm and pieces of fish. I'm more interested in bite rate than fish size right now. Oh, appreciate the bits there, Canadian. The jazzy music will surely bring the salmon out, right? So let's just went back to a size 1 as well. It's the double larva. Let's actually try cactus fly. Oh no, we'll keep stonefly on there. Appreciate it. Bring those salmon out to play. Or trout, for that matter. Allegedly, there should be trout here too. And another size. All right, let's try a tiny as well, because there may be some tiny species out here that might do something. Appreciate the sport. Let's try some bark beetle larvae as well. All right, come on now, fish. All right, we gotta do everything we can to bring those pink salmon out. We're gonna be the world first on Tele for sure. And I see the line here. Some spots the water's clear enough where you can see what's going on with the bait. Okay, so it looks like it's hanging a little above the bottom, which is good. So I guess let's just leave them where they're at for a few minutes and see if anything happens. If not, we'll try going around the bend. Maybe, oh, I think I see a nibble. Here we go. It's not, that's the hard part. I don't know if that's a nibble or if that was actually a full bite to set the hook. I'm not used to seeing the floats in this kind of state to know what the hook setting time is, but that's a good start. Go ahead and recast it. Oh, here we go. Missed it. We have to figure out the hook setting time, but this spot does seem to be working at least, so this is a start. Getting somewhere. The trick was finding a spot where the current wasn't pushing the floats towards the embankment. And I think so. Line 1 and 3 are both ones that have gotten nibbles. They're the ones that are set at 50 centimeters. So may adjust line 2 to be 50 centimeters as well if it doesn't start getting any nibbles. Okay, so there was something biting there. We have to figure out when to set the hooks with this situation. Yeah, and that's a good point too with the current. You'd think they should realistically auto set the hook as well, but and I know the sockeye and chum salmon you can catch on Tele here. Just the pink and Atlantic that seem to have no Tele catches so far. Ooh, it's still too hot. That tea is okay, but it is a white tea base, which I'm not the biggest fan of white tea bases. Okay, so we're getting some bites on this line. Just haven't figured out how to set the hook yet, but let's go ahead and bring this one in and bring it down to a 50 centimeter depth. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to once I unlock Yama, we should be able to catch a lot of salmon out there on our tail. That'll be fun. And grab some bait while we're here. 3 out of 4. And I am very close to unlocking baitfish rig now. That's right. Once I find that bear, I'm going to smack it with the Tele rods for sure. Okay, so this one was set to 1 meter. Let me bring it down to 50 centimeters as well. Even though it has been getting some nibbles, I think keeping everything shallow might be the key. Gotta figure out when we're supposed to set the hook on these. I think part of what's going on is when the fish nibbles a little bit, the current is making the float look like it's a much more drastic hit than it actually is, so I need to give it a few nibbles before I pick it up. Ooh, well, that one, it took it all the way under, but we still either pulled up too early or too late there. We've got half the technique down. Now we just got to figure out the set timing, and we're good to go. And then that pink salmon, it's only a matter of time now. I also wonder if float weight is going to be more of a factor in this predicament because the hook is so close to the float that a larger float may be spooking the fish right off of it. Right, so we've got nothing on line 2, which is the 2 larvae. So I'm thinking larvae are no good here. Let's throw red worm and nightcrawler on here instead. Straighten this line out a little bit. Yeah. Recast this one as well. Oh, hey, we got a fish on. Apparently. Little tiny char loach. This first one of those I've caught so far. Who knows how long it was on there? You know, maybe it did auto set the hook actually. See if that loach ends up being a weekly just because no one's bothering to try catching them with telescopic. I think every few minutes, if we don't get a nibble, I'll let it, I'll recast to try and reset the bite chance here. Snapback. That was an extreme snapback. It almost hit me in the face there. So, can taimen be caught up in the stream, or are they only out in the main riverway? Only the main? Okay. Don't have to worry about them at least. At least we've caught a fish so far. Wonder if I should set it to a meter instead, so it's a little bit further from the float. RND, yeah, we're in the correct area still. Let's try a little bit deeper. Does that still work out okay? Far so good. All right, so let's leave it there and see if that deeper setting might help things out a little bit. Come on out, fish. I would think that this stream would be really good for trout. Let's see, I'm gonna look at the, all right, so it's definitely pushing towards the shore in this side. I think that's pretty much the only spot around this bend that we're going to be able to use the telescopics. or else it's going to be pushed right towards the shoreline. See what happens if we try to just manually guide one of these along the bend as well. Sometimes if you have it in the drifting with the current state, it does improve the bite rate, so try just guiding it in. Nothing there. Again. I'll try the same with the other lines as well to see if bait choices might make a difference as well. We've got something on line 3 possibly. Yep. Another one of those loach, I think. Hey, it's a marker. So let's try throwing this one out. Letting it drift. We're actually catching some stuff on this one. The technique does seem to work, but maybe it's just an inactive spot right now, I guess. All right, so this one I at least know the hook seems to be auto setting, so I'm gonna leave it in the water there. Let's try throwing this one out with the double worms. Really, one of these has got to catch some stuff besides the loach. I think there may have been a nibble at the end there. I can't tell. Could have just been hitting a deep spot. See, if I knew a bait that was effective for what we're going for out here, I could technically just grab one line and just start at the top of the stream and walk it the whole way down to cover the full extent of it. Without knowing a bait to use, there'd be a lot of time wasted that way, I think. Look there. Throw this one back out. Where are some other baits we could try? I'll start up here. Try some caddisfly and grasshopper. I like how using a shift cast on a telescopic makes it sound like it's coming out of a reel. So maybe we need to keep it down to 50 centimeters. Yeah, and I figure like caddisfly should especially be good for the whitefish. I think that's what I've caught the one round whitefish. You can see if we start to the left of that stream there, it's going to just push the float straight to the shore. So we have to stay on the other side of it. And let's go ahead and let's try that. Let's switch the grasshopper out and go back to red one. Here we go. Okay, all right. We got something. Like a linnock. Yep. Ooh, it's a pretty big one too. Look at that XP. Love to see it. All right. Let's keep that kind of action up. All right, so will it correct if I go here? Okay, so it looks like it's going to stay close to this shore. All right, so it's possible. We're going to start like right about here. It's possible I may be able to juggle these and keep them all drifting. I'm quick about it. Let's give a few more casts just to make sure it's at least reliably consistent. I'm sure that Linux is going to be some sort of weekly record. See it pop up here soon. Cast. Doesn't look like anything's hit those two yet. I think that's the other factor is like you've got to get it way out from the shore. It seems like that's where the bites tend to be happening. There we go, got another one. Siberian roach that time. Okay, so let me sit this down for a second and grab one other rod. Let's start trying to do 2 at a time, I guess. Yeah, this is, if there is a pink salmon spot, this theoretically should be it. As far as the bait, you know, there's still definitely a chance that like we've been theorizing that maybe roe is the bait that needs to be used. I'm stuck. Try to force myself out. Trick. Keep these cast way out, and I'll just keep walking line 1 since it's been catching a few fish that way. Yeah. And that's kind of my plans. If I can find, like, I'm basically keeping an eye on some of the discords, and if I see people posting that they're catching some pink salmon here and that, then that's when I'm going to try bringing some roe out here. I think there's something going on with line 3 there. There's some ripples going on. Don't seem natural, but quite tell. Walking this one along. almost wonder, would the lantern provide enough light out here? I haven't ever actually seen any video clips of how much light the lantern you can buy provides. Definitely getting some nibbles online. Actually, we may have a fish on. Yeah. Well, saw it go down, but I guess it was still striking. Back out there. Because if that lantern provides like a really good amount of light around, it could actually be useful for this kind of fishing where the little headlamp doesn't quite get out to the floats. Go, another fish on. Like another Siberian roach, possibly? No, a round whitefish, okay. Didn't expect to catch that up here. I'll take it. Let's actually try walking this down a ways and see if we can catch anything else that way. Oh, yep, the Linux was a telescopic weekly. Yeah, a net would for sure do the trick. Some little bits, give us a little more slack. No. All right, let's go back up here and try again. Anything on these lines? Look like it. Being nighttime, I may switch the red worm out to Nightcrawler. Oop. Go, we got something. Nope. That wasn't all the way on. Haven't quite figured out where to set the hook yet. We'll figure it out. And so right about here, it seems to get extra shallow. All right, let's go back up here. And let's switch to Caddisfly with Nightcrawler. Something going after that line. Keep an eye on it. So you can figure out where to set the hook. Right there. Hey, all right. What do we got? What do we got? Looks like pellet, maybe? Yep, pellet. And I'm going to change out what's on line 2 because it still hasn't got a single bite. Let's try. Mayfly with. Maybe. Let's try Mayfly larva with full grown Mayfly. right, continue going downstream here. Yeah, you know, the fish jumping out of the water, you can, yeah, no one follow the link provided there. Fix that in a second here. Because like you can, some of the fish when you're trolling definitely do the whole out of water jumping, like some of the pike and the Atlantic salmon. I hope that in the future they update some of the other fish like trout and whatnot to also do that kind of splashing out of the water action. Now that it's nighttime though, I feel like we're probably not going to get anything. Or if we do, it's probably going to actually be more likely on the tiny hook. So let's put it out as our primary. And let's try, instead of fly, let's keep caddisfly on there and try bloodworm maybe. Here in my mouth. The good news is, at least we found that this spot, the technique does work. So we need to check some of these other spots along the stream, see if maybe they work as well. Trick is just finding the right bait and hook combinations along with the time of day, I guess. I don't think we're really going to get anything here at nighttime. And those. All right, so yeah, here you can see like in this spot, line one ended up getting popped out of the water, so it's not actually going to be working. Let's move it a little further downstream. Make sure it doesn't pop out of the water again. And it looks safe. All right. Let's try starting this a little further upstream and see if we can get to go around the bend walking. The round whitefish was a regular weekly in addition to a telescopic weekly. Nice. And so it's staying out towards the middle of the water. That's good. Wish you could do I wish there was a section in the leaderboards for bottom fishing specific, like spinning, bottom, and telescopic. If they had that, then I could probably see what people catch on bottom fishing out here to get an idea of what kind of bait to use. And yeah, so right about here, it's going to drift towards the shoreline, which if we let it go a little bit further, does it back out? No, doesn't look like it. So, of course, I don't think we can get around that bend starting up the stream. Hydrate time. All right. Ah, cheers. Someone just got a global weekly char. There we go. Is that a rough? Hey, we got a rough. I guess that counts for something. Which that's something I want to try to go after as well. Ooh, that was a bad cast. I want to try at some point to try to get some of those Drygen char up in this area. I don't know if I'd be able to get them in those shallow spots or not, but worth a shot. As we know, there's safe, or not safe, rough in this spot right here, so might be able to target some of those maybe. So far, so good. Okay, so it's right about here is where it starts getting pushed towards the shore again. Anything going on with these lines? Nope. Line 1 has popped back out of the water again, so I think maybe the bait is affecting it. That nightcrawler may be too heavy or something. Try switching back to red worm. Go back up here. Let's try red worm with blood worm where we caught that rough and see if we can catch another one potentially. Wonder if you can get the catfish up here as well. I doubt it, but there's no really deep holes or anything, so probably not. And right about here, I got to recast. Here we go. Got something right off the bankment here. Little Asian smelt. Hey, a float fishing game. Look at that. So close to 90% now. I'm also wondering if maybe the tainment and whatnot actually need a larger hook for a higher bite rate. Because if you think about the treble hook sizes, those are generally like 2/0 hooks. So I wonder if maybe putting a 1/0 hook would improve the bite rate for the. Yeah, it's the hook size guiding on this game is like it's one of those factors that's kind of not entirely intuitive. Like the fact that you can catch a 10-gram clupinella on a size 1 hook. Does it really make sense? So those look like they're still functioning at least. I casting again. Hopefully the sun will be up here in a few minutes and we can start getting some other species biting. The good news is that catching Linux up here has been pretty good. They're a pretty good size when you catch them. Like NLR's having some good luck with the common carps tonight. In. And there's a other than gibble and crucian carp, it seems like carp trophies are very elusive. I think this one a bit like right away on that one. I'm wondering if, given that the roundfish and Linux seem to be our most profitable species we're getting to hit, I guess we need to try and just maybe target them for now, once the sun comes back out. What was the, they're both on caddisfly and redworm, I believe. We'll just switch all the lines to that. All right, sun's coming back up. Let's get these all set back up. All right, okay, this one's already good to go. Switch this one to caddisfly and redworm. There it is. Hey, that rough was a water body record for telescopic. All right. At least we got a water body for tonight, right? Made something work. All right, so I'm going to leave lines 2 and 3 in the water, and we're going to keep walking line 1 so it stays drifting. Yeah, it is pretty unusual because usually rough like to stick in palmer spots, but maybe that's why that one was a record. He's just such a beefy boy, always swimming upstream. I'm supposed to hope to get some Linux and round whitefish back on here. Keep walking this one up and down the stream. Everybody's looking for carp. It sounds like the little pond is pretty active right now. All right. No bites on those yet. We can catch a couple more of those 2 kilo plus Linux. Will be in good shape. Okay, we got something running with it there. Let's see. This looks like Cisco, maybe? No, Arctic Grayling. All right. We got one of the species so that's actually a good sign because people have been catching quite a few trophy Arctic Graylings in this area the last few days. So if we can keep catching those, we may be able to pull a trophy out, which would be great. Here we go. Now we're getting some hits. Another pellet. What size hook do I have on here? This is a 12. I wonder if bumping this up to a size 4 hook would be useful. Can't go above size 4 because caddisfly can't go on there. We can keep a consistent bite rate on this. I might bump it up. Seems like the spot right around here where it gets shallow and starts making the float bump up and down seems to be where they start hitting. I may actually go ahead and move the other 2 lines down over to this spot. Wouldn't do that. All right, let's cast it right about here. Go. And get back to walking line 1. Let's take it a little bit further than we have been and see if it's a little more active, a little more downstream from here. In the water. Okay, let's go ahead and recast that. The Arctic Grayling was a telescopic weekly. Oh, it's starting to get promising with that pellet and the grayling there, but not quite as active as I'd like it to be. To be fair, we have caught 10 fish out here, so so far doing better than I expected. Getting something on line 3 here. It bumped it, but didn't stick with it. Wait, might be hitting again, actually. We're getting some action on both of these now, so recast them as well. Got a little, that is a tiny Tugan right there. We got a tiny Siberian roach. I don't know, I think the current is making those auto hook actually. Not working out. What other some bait options can we try? Try a maggot with the red worm. All right, we got like another grayling. Yep, not bad. You out here looking for these char now, Canadian? Oh, I missed that one. You getting them out in the pond up there? I'm gonna bump my hook size up to size 4. Here's my good 4s at. There it is. With the... We're out of maggot. Okay, so we'll go back to the caddisfly, I guess. Or, okay, 4 is too big for it. Caddisfly with red worm. So are you able to catch them in the shallower parts of that area, or are you having to cast way out? I think that maggot may have been a key there. You can catch them in the shallow part? Okay. Maybe something I try out in the near future then. All right, let's go. We have a good size 6 hook on me. That's not a good hook, but put maggots on there. 6 seems to be a really good hook size. You can use all the bait. Let's try that combo again with a slightly larger hook, see if we can get a bigger grayling out of it. All right, here we go. Looks like a Cisco, I think. Yeah. So maybe maggot's the best bait to use out here. Moving on this line. And we got a ad break coming up in about 40 seconds here, just to prevent pre-roll ads. Got someone outside revving a motorcycle for some unknown reason. Come on, give me one of them trophy grayling. I wonder if, or I wonder, I should say, I wonder how much of a difference we would see here if this spot's just in a particularly active state. There's one thing I can't tell, because as mentioned, there have been some trophy graylings caught here in the last few days, but I don't know if it's a case where they're only catching a few fish a day and they just happen to be getting trophies, or if they've had a really high bite rate and have gotten trophies. They weren't posting their full keep nets or anything, just the trophies. So I don't know if this is typical of what they've been seeing for bite rate or what we can compare it to, really. We got some movement on one of these here. I'm gonna pull it back and okay, so still on. That's weird. It seems like sometimes the hook auto sets on those, and sometimes it doesn't. Nope, didn't set. Not getting any bites now. How's the char bite rate up there? Can you just get the one and a bunch of non-markers, or just the one and that was it? I'm trying here. Okay, so they're just a rare species then. Gotcha. They're one of those fish all day and hope you catch one decent one type of fish. This spot doesn't seem to be working, so let's try one more spot further upstream. I haven't really gone past the next bend to try it all, so let's see if we can do anything up there. And if we don't have any luck, we can call this experiment a pseudo buster. I mean, the technique works, but this spot's just not, I don't think, active enough for it to really do much. Really wish you could take the boat into this section. All right, so can we go past this tree limb here? Fallen tree. Like it? Good. Go up here. Actually, it looks like the current goes away from the stream here. Let's try this area. If we get any luck with this. Hey, all four. Love to see when that happens. Yeah, nibble one too. It's still hitting. Clear to tell with the way the current affects these floats, though. I see some action on one. Here we go. We've got, looks like, another grayling possibly? No, that's, yep, it is a grayling. Okay. Right. Okay, this spot actually seems to be working. Seeing some other nibbles, it looks like. Another telescopic weekly on that grayling. It's not a fantastic bite rate, but giving me a little more hope than the other spot was. Okay, I think I see, all right, with these fish, because of the current on the float, I think instead of paying attention to the float themselves, I need to just watch the tips of the pole and wait till I see the pole tips move. And that's when I need to try to set the hook. Let's recast all of these and see if I can make that happen. Yeah. Missed that one. Yep. Some of these seem to hit instantly and only stay on for like very brief, like half a second. Your window to set the hook is very, very narrow. Oh, fish, I know you're here. Any fish at all. Hydrate up. All right. There we go. Doing there, cat. Let's see. Let's also try. I'm gonna lower the depth a little bit on these. I'm a little closer to the bottom. Sure that. There we go. Like another one of those loach, possibly, or hey, a lake minnow. All right, first one of those I've caught. Whatever just nibbled on one, that's one of those ones that seems like they just hit it immediately. Your window for seeing the hook is very, very narrow. What we got? I tell what that is. Is a really tiny muksun, okay. I think we're gonna nibble on that one. Another grayling, I think. Yep, tiny one though, not even a marker. All right, so at least this spot's getting some activity. Scoop some bait. Got something going after 3, I think. Maybe not. Go. Ah, I missed it. So what we need to find out is when this sector has pink salmon active, and that's when we just go all in, try everything, all the roe, every bait we can imagine. This one is set up where the current is actually pulling away from the shore, so it's a viable triple telly spot. I'm gonna recast this one because someone keeps like hitting it just slightly, not going all the way for the hook. It's the I guess going with the pole bend is not as reliable a hook setting indicator as I thought. Oops, didn't miss that one. Huh. Wonder if I just need really lightweight floats for some of these. They're probably all those minnows and Tugend that are not strong enough to pull these ones properly. That is a tiny pellet. I'm surprised they can get that small. Well, the sun's almost set, so let's hit the spot to the sun sets and we'll go cash these fish in. Missed it. Something a little bit bigger than we've been catching. I know mule. All right. Not too shabby. Yep. Well, we're doing it for science, though. And slightly nibbling on line 2 there. All right. I do wonder if this would work better with lightweight floats. Yeah, just line the entire river with bamboo rods. One of these will happen. We'll get one. As you get those little tiny bites like that, I'm wondering if the floats are scaring the fish off, like the little lake minnows or something. Another small muxon. But I think this spot's going to be the secret. If we ever hear of people catching some pink salmon at this spot, this is where we need to go all in on trying to get them on the tellies. It's just about set here. Let's see, nibble on 3. See, that one, like the rod tip was bent for a good bit, and it still wasn't in a position to set the hook, which is very strange to me. For exerting that much pressure, you'd think surely that it's a hook setting time. I think this current just makes the hook setting mechanics very awkward. All right, can we get one last fish before the sun sets? Looks like it. Not a very good one, but these non-marker pellet and muxon's terrible. What's that? All right, well, I think we can go ahead and pack it up here. Let's fast travel back to town. see if we got lucky and have any cafe orders we can turn in. If nothing else, at least we do have that one Linux that's going to be worth some matter of. Ooh, we're out of caddisfly. What was on that? Oh, maggots. That was one with maggots. None of those. All right. Do the old fast travel here. At least we did get a random water body record out of that rough. So we can say it's not a total bust. All right, Cafe, what you got? I think I got only one there. Nope. So I haven't got any of these Siberian sculpin either. All right, well, I guess we'll just see what our total fish value ended up being here. With our whopping 23 fish, most of them non-marker. I'm gonna go with 53 silver. Everyone else's guess on this. $99, $69, nice. See what we've got. Actually, that was more than I was expecting. What were our big winners here? Okay, so that Linux was worth 53 silver on its own. Okay, well, all right, Mr. Linux, you win. See, I think the Linux may be the key on that stream, because that's the second time we've been out there where I was able to get a fairly large Linux on. So maybe the tactic is to just target Linux and try to get a couple of those and make your cash out of that. But that's not terrible. 23 fish for 129. Found this side of the stream doesn't work on telescopic. This stream here just pushes it straight to the shore. But if you get this spot right here, was doing okay. And then this area up here was, or I guess it was right here, was actually pretty good. I think if I see activity on the discords in that area, I'm definitely going to try it out. As far as my next stream, so this weekend's going to be super busy. I may be able to stream the night after tomorrow. I'll be out of town tomorrow though, so definitely not. But come Monday, I guess we need to. Do you think I should try to get a Dryagen char up here, or maybe make my first trip to Sura or something like that? What does everybody want to see for Monday's stream? Do you want to stay here on Tunguska, try some more random stuff, or try someplace new? Try for the char. So what other fish are good to try and target up here? I figure I can try and, since the char are fairly rare, I can try and target multiple things at once. Arctic as well? Okay. So I guess I can just put some general char bait on and see what we can get on those. And I think after I end the stream here off camera, I'm going to go try that amber spot out on the pond, see if I can make some silver, as well as use my happy hour to get those last 0.2% to get 90% float fishing. With that said, I think that experiment was, I'm going to say it was successful. We at least found some spots where the telescopic does work up here. I just think that A, we need to figure out the correct hook and bait combinations, and then B, I think it's not an active area right now is all, but we did, as a proof of concept, we made it work, and that's the important part. Happy with the results. So we'll definitely keep an eye out for active spots out there. With that said, we'll go ahead and wrap things up here. I hope everyone has a good night. Those of you over in Europe and Australia, have a good rest of your day, and everyone have a great weekend. And I will catch you all next time. Take it easy, folks.